beautiful sunny morning going for a high of 18 degrees today, but a change on the way, a cold southwesterly change on the way with moderate to heavy seas, and a current strong wind warning is out for all coastal waters. So if you're going out boating, might not be an idea to do so.
I suppose I've been fishing in these waters for about 20 years or so. And after that amount of time, you start to respect the sea and what it can do. Australian waters are treacherous at the best of times. Australian weather conditions are always tricky. You put the two together and you could have what I call a floating time bomb. Right now it looks like we could be in for a perfect day of blue water living. But as you've heard, there's a change on the way. Could say the fuse on the time bomb has been lit. And by this afternoon things could erupt.
Trouble, mate.
Geez, Harry, I thought you'd never get here. Bloody beautiful day, isn't it?
Oh, I don't know, Walt. Just heard the weather report. Doesn't sound that good, you know.
Well, there's not a cloud in the sky.
Oh, well, the weather report said there was heavy weather on the way.
What's up, getting cold feet, are you? Now, look, this boat could ride out a cyclone.
Yeah, you know, I'm not much of a sailor,
Stop
Walt.
complaining, will you? Look, I've been planning this trip for weeks now. Now, look, you just leave everything up to old Walt, the terror of the South Seas. Now, get round the back and give us a hand.
Okay, Walt.
Now, Walt is the terror of the South Seas, all right. Believes in challenging the fates. Doesn't carry oars, reckons it's a motorboat, not a rowboat. The outboard's there for life. Doesn't matter about putting a safety chain on it. And as for flares and distress signals, well, he's going out fishing, not to celebrate the Queen's Jubilee. And as for running repairs, well, Walt believes that sort of thing is strictly for the birds. But Walt always takes his life preservers, though. He's got 24 of them, chilled and waiting. That is, less one.
Oh, all right, suit yourself.
And his life preservers are very versatile. Not only will they stave off the great thirst, but he reckons the empty cans can be used for bailing. After all, the boat does leak, just a little bit. As regards boating with a purpose, there's no flies on old Walt. The flies have got too much sense. You see, Walt's boat's unseaworthy. Unseaworthy? It's like going to sea in a vegetable calendar. And his isn't the only floating civil on the continental shelf. There are all sorts of tubs and buckets bobbing about, wallowing in the wash. And it's not only the old boats that can be unsafe. If you're choosing a boat, check up on the one most suitable for your needs. And don't think horsepower alone. It's essentially the boat that counts. This boat and this outboard are just not made for each other. Power does not mean safety. And talking of outboards, Walt and his outboard don't seem to be made for each other either. Outboards are not eternal. They need regular checkups.
What do you mean, had it? The bloody thing's never given me any trouble before. This is the first time.
Can I have a go?
Oh, yeah, sure. Mugs away.
May not look it, but today's a bad day for boating. Remember the weather report? There's a change on the way, with rain and high winds coming out of the southwest. Now, weather reports should be taken seriously. They're not meant to merely fill up the gaps between the songs of the radio. But Walt has been planning this trip for weeks. Not even an impending hurricane could put him off. And that's people for you. Of course, he's got a lot of company, too. I reckon some people think they crawled out of the sea only yesterday and not 300 million years ago. Water is dangerous. If you're skylarking about, you're liable to end up as an olive in a great ocean cocktail. And olives just don't float. Even blokes with experience can make mistakes. A boat is an unstable platform at the best of times. And this bloke should know better than to haul things in from over the side. He's also wearing waders. If he goes over the side and they fill up with water, he'll sink like a stone. He could be the best swimmer in the world, but it wouldn't help him. Now he's got the idea. Stern hauling is the only way of hauling. In our modern age of affluence, Australians are going down to the sea in droves. But the water's an alien element. You want to stay on it, not sink into it. These people have the right idea. They're heading back before getting caught in the change. They're not mucking about either. They've selected a good strong anchor with plenty of chain to hold them to the bottom. Also a fire extinguisher for emergencies. They've equipped themselves with flares and distress signals, even a torch, which can be very useful for signalling. Their boat is certainly watertight, but they've taken along a galvanised bucket for bailing. They haven't forgotten the paddles either.
Can you come up here, please?
Everything's there. Best of all, they're all wearing life jackets. However, you've got to be careful with your life jackets. Now this one, for example, will not be of much use to you if you're thrown overboard. It'll just keep you afloat, but it doesn't support your head. And if you're out to it, your head will roll forward and the game will be up. It's not much use to you. This one, on the other hand, is proper support for the head. If you're confused about what sort of life jacket to choose, select one that carries a sticker like this. This sticker means it's been tested and approved by the Standards Association of Australia. Life jackets like these are fitted with lights and whistles. Each member of the family has been individually fitted with something suitable. This family knows about safety on the high seas. Meanwhile, others are finding the seas higher than they expected, and themselves less prepared than they should be.
Oh, I just don't understand it. Bloody thing's never given me any trouble before.
I think I'm going to be sick.
I just don't understand it. It was sound as a bell 3 months ago.
Do something, will you? I think I'm going to be sick.
Oh, have a beer.
It's only recently the records are being kept of the cause of most boating deaths. These records show the number of drownings are increasing each year, and they occur not through the blind malignancy of the fates, but through plain old human error. Boats are unseaworthy, people venture out knowing the weather may turn bad, they lack life jackets, they may be poor swimmers, and they're often quarter drunk, half drunk, and even totally drunk. Boats, weather, life jackets, and alcohol. It's as simple as that. Once you're in the water, your survival time is very limited. You can't expect to stay afloat long without life jackets. Walton Harry's main problem at the moment is loss of body heat. It will sap their strength until they're too weak to hold on. If you're ever in this situation, try to avoid heat loss. Keep your body hunched and try to keep in as much body heat as possible.
Yes, Vigilant answering BL7AX. Vigilant answering BL7AX. Your message received and understood. We will respond. Over.
Fortunately, police rescue boats and a network of fishing boats and radio bases keep a constant watch on our coasts and inland waterways. Someone has spotted Walton Harry from the shore and the general call has gone out. There's a boat in the vicinity, and if our two misadventurers can hold on, they have a chance. This time, Walton Harry were lucky. But most of the time, boating accidents end in tragedy. You can't fool with the sea. If you're thinking about taking to the blue water this year, use your common sense. Think about your boat, take note of the weather, wear a life jacket, carry the right gear, and don't drink. There may not be a rescue boat around when you make a mistake. Your boat is part of you. Look after it and think safety.